Hi guys, welcome to Extra Pig Farms, where I share everything on profitable pig farming. I'm starting a series that I'm naming the Profitable Pig Farming series. This will be episode 1 of the Profitable Pig Farming series. And in this particular episode, I'm going to be talking about the true cost of raising a pig. Pig farming can be life-changing and can be very exciting and can even transform your life. Very profitable as well. But this is only the case if you know what your real costs are, because costs helps with pricing and revenue generation. So if you are interested in knowing the true cost of raising a pig from the time the pig comes to your farm to the time you're selling it off, then this is a video that you should be very, very interested in. Pay attention, especially to the figures. It will help you know whether pig farming can be profitable for you or not. I'll be breaking down the true cost of raising pigs: housing, feeding, cost of animals, etc., etc. Many people just look at revenue generated from pig sales and then quickly want to go into pig farming. That is a recipe for disaster. If you are really interested in knowing the cost of raising a pig, guys, this is the place to be. So just join in and then let's go on this ride together. So first cost associated with pig feeding is the cost of purchasing your animal for breeding on your farm. Now, depending on where you are, your location, and the type of breed of animal that you are trying to get, you can get good piglets or weaners from anywhere between and 400,000, depending on the breed and the genetics of the animal. However, a good gilt can cost from 600,000 and above. A good gilt is what we usually call about to cross. Then again, if you are looking for a good boar, it's also about that range. Many people prefer to get growers because they are on a cheaper end of the scale, and then they keep them until they are ready for crossing. A cheaper pig may be more expensive for you in the long run. But again, just because somebody is telling you their pig is expensive does not mean that they are good pigs. Like I have always stressed in my videos, make sure you see the parents of these animals, see the parents of the pigs you are buying. That gives you an indication or an idea about how big your animal can grow to become. If you get animals that have poor genetics, it means that you are going to be sinking a lot of money into feeding and the animals will never grow. At the end of the day, you are likely to lose a lot of money. And so genetics is very important. The second cost is the feed cost, which is the most important of your costs if you are going into pig farming. I say most important because feeding will be about 65 to 80%, 65 to 80% of your expense budget. The difference between very profitable farms and farms that are barely making profit or farms that are making huge losses is that farms that are making profits have learned to hack feeding of their animals, and so they are able to get good feed at the lowest price points possible so that their animals gain optimal weight. If you are all selling at the same rate, let's say that the price of a pig is going for 2,500 per kg live weight or 2,700 per kg live weight, and you are all selling at the same price, obviously the person who was able to get the same weight at the cheaper cost of feeding then tends to make a lot more on the margin of their sales, which contributes a lot to their profitability. If you want to know the cost of feeding from 0 to about their 100 kg in 6 months, you are looking anywhere between 110 to 194,000 naira, depending on whether you are mixing feed on the farm or whether you are using commercial feed. This is on the assumption that your animals are growing very well or they are growing fast. The feed conversion ratio of like 2.77 to 1. It means for every 2.7 kg of feed the animals eat, converts to 1 kg of meat or of weight. I would like you to note that this depends on the feed prices, ingredient quality, and a host of other things. So, say this, feed prices vary based on where you are, and so I'm just giving you a general idea of what pertains around here. So for your area, it may be very different. It's very tempting to give your animals cheap feed, but this translates into poor growth and delayed maturity. So you end up spending more feeding the animals and then not getting the desired weight. At the end of the day, you are losing money, and you are keeping the animal longer. The longer the animal stays on your farm, all other costs increase in addition to the feed. So it may not be a wise idea to try to just use cheap feed. What you should be looking at is giving your animals balanced nutrition. The next important cost in pig farming is housing and structures. Now, I wouldn't talk about getting land and building in this stage. I'll just assume that you are renting, or even if you have your own building, you should be charging yourself rent to use the place so that you have an idea what it is costing people who are renting or generally renting to run their farms. Now that helps you save money for repairs and everything that happens on the farm. You can get a pen to rent, a standard pen that can take about 4 animals for like 5,000 naira per month. So that goes to about 60,000 naira per year. I have been very fortunate that the rate I got this place was very cheap. I got 4 pens here for 60,000 naira per annum. It's increased now. It's increased now to 100,000. I don't know whether they would increase it at the end of this year, but yes, it's generally a pen size that can take our 3 or 4 animals to go for like 5,000 naira per month. That's 60,000 naira per annum for structures. Note this: a poorly designed structure can cost you more in terms of disease outbreak. It can cost you more in terms of accidents on the farm that can be life-threatening for your pigs. It can lead to slow growth of your animals, and these all hit your bottom line. It's important that you always look at a well or properly designed structure for your farm. If you are not the one feeding and cleaning daily on your farm, then it means that you would have to pay for labor. This is also a crucial cost on your farm. Apart from the feeding, labor cost is one of the highest costs you're going to incur on your farm. When somebody is taking care of your animals, you have to remunerate them properly. Most farm hands you're going to have, if you are a small farm starting off, are going to be working part-time on the farm, and so you cannot afford to pay them a full-time salary. However, even if it's a full-time staff and you can't afford the full-time salary or the basic wage of 70,000, what you can do is that you can have other pets. So maybe you have piglets you can give or pigs you can give based on performance, to know that your farmhand is doing the right things that they are supposed to do. The cost for employing a farmhand will largely depend on the size of your farm. So maybe you are paying your farmhand, say, per month. You should have quite a big place with a lot of animals so that at the end of the day you can cover that cost. Another important cost on the farm you are going to be incurring is healthcare and vaccination costs, or we can call them veterinary costs. You would have to have a schedule for vaccinations, administering iron, dewormers. Failure to do this is the reason why a lot of farms lose a lot of pigs. And so you can budget between 5,000 and 10,000 naira monthly for vaccination and then deworming, depending on the size of your farm. Healthcare costs also includes getting the vet to come onto your farm. So anytime a vet is coming onto your farm, you may have to part away with about 10,000 naira and more. And if you know how to do a lot of the things, it saves you that amount, but you are also buying the drugs or the vaccination, the medicines. So you can save between 5,000 and 10,000 naira a month for that cost. A growing pig will drink up to 5 liters of water a day. And so it's important to add this to your costs. Now, if you are pumping water, that also comes with the cost of electricity. Our water costs in 4,000 and 8,000 in a month. There are other hidden costs that people don't usually talk about. So transportation to and from your farm, transportation of feed, wastage of feed can really be the undoing of your farm. You can project, say, 300 kg for feed on your farm, and then your farmer then tends to waste close to about 400 because the animals are not giving what they are supposed to give. So you should understand that this is also a very important cost. We can also talk about unexpected price hikes and losses of animals and thefts on the farm. We can talk about loss of piglets. If you follow this channel, I've told you about some of the piglets we have lost, and all these are factors that introduces costs to your farm that you don't really hear farmers talk about. And the mental toll it takes on the farmer is also one thing altogether. These are real costs that you're going to face when you decide to go into pig farming. Some of them are unquantifiable. Be ready for them when you want to start your farming. So let's break down the total cost of rearing a pig. If you follow what we have looked at, then to project the total cost of raising an animal, assuming that your costs of feeding is 65 to 80% of raising the animal, then it means that we are looking total cost of raising an animal between 137,000 to about closely 220,000 thereaboutish, and that is quite a lot. So if you see this, then you see that pig farming can be profitable if done well. You can also lose a lot of money, but many people don't take cognizance of this. And so making a lot of money in pig farming actually has to do with having a lot of numbers. If you made a margin of about 30,000 per pig after raising it for 6 months, you would say that this is not profitable. But once you begin to multiply it by 10 pigs, then that's about 300,000 over a 6-month period. Once you have 100 pigs, that's like 3 million, then we are beginning to talk over a 6-month period. You need to pay attention to the costs involved in raising the animals and try to streamline those that can be streamlined as much as possible, and to checkmate wastes and abuses on your farm. So to succeed, you have to track your feed, you need to monitor your expenses, you need to keep good hygiene, and you need to choose strong genetics for your farm. If you want me to make a video on the profits per pig, I think that you should leave a comment in the comment section, and then if I have enough requests to make such a video, I'll go ahead and make it. Now, if you like this video, I want to encourage you. This channel is still young. I would like to encourage you to encourage the channel by liking this video and then subscribing to it, and also sharing it with your colleagues. Thank you very much.